That looks like it looks on the screen like I'm in a room with Josh Homme and my son Liam.
That's what it looks like.
That's weird. I've had this dream before. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good.
Good,
I'm good.
good. It's good to see you. Good to see you in Madison again. I know last time you were here there was some sort of disruption or something. The show ended
No, this is why I
early.
asked for this show, actually.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say something tonight, too. I just had a particularly rough, terrible day and absolutely got bat faced
Mm.
by 2 o'clock. And
Yeah.
just totally men's downhill, snowballed.
Yeah.
And so I asked for this show again.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
when it was like, where do you want to play? And my only thing was Madison, you
Awesome.
know?
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually missed the show last time you were here. It was 2019, right?
Yeah, I think I kind of expected it to be like 1,000 people this time
Yeah.
after last time. Because I think we only played like, Mikey looked at it. I was telling Mike he couldn't remember. And he's like, oh my God, well, we only played 14 songs. You know,
Oh wow.
yeah.
You got quite a set list for us tonight.
We haven't done it yet.
Oh,
We haven't
nice.
done it yet. We're going to definitely, since it's going to be in the sun, I think it's going to be somewhat more daytime than it's been kind of nighttime vibe lately.
Sure, sure.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you're getting it right, getting on right around sunset, so that should be
Really? I
perfect.
don't think so. I think we're going, let's see. We go on at
7:50 ish.
7:50 to
Yeah.
9:50.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think the sun goes down at
It'll
9:03.
get good and dark. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you you've had a few of those days recently, haven't you? Um, just coming off quite a stretch, a tumultuous time in your life. You feel like this coming back around is like a victory lap for
Oh no,
Queens.
I feel like I mean I think you kind of get what you need, you know. I needed, you know, I'm someone that definitely is hard-headed, and sometimes I need something extremely visceral to sort of redirect me, you
Right.
know. And so I'm really kind of thankful for all the, I mean, not in the moment,
Right.
you know, in the moment it's like the hardships are
Yeah.
difficult.
It doesn't feel good, but
No, no, but you know, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I really do need that to sort of to get me to stop and focus on. When I get focused on something, I get really
yeah.
blinders.
No.
And no, I feel really good. I feel really thankful, really appreciative, and yeah,
You look like you're back in fighting shape.
yeah, yeah.
That's
You know,
awesome.
I mean, this life is a very um, uh, wonderful and chaotic one. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
and I think I'm sometimes a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And you know, you try not to be.
Right.
And I'd like to think I'm very steady, but I don't think that's always the case. So I think right now I feel really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I think the last time that Kyuss World spoke with you was we were doing the radio show with
Yeah.
PJ Boston in San Francisco,
Yeah.
and you called up, and the challenge at that time was the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in a really interesting spot then too.
Yeah.
I think everyone was going through something so intense
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just listened to that show the other day because at the time we were talking to you about the 25th anniversary of Circus, and coming up in July is the 30th anniversary of and the Circus Sleeps Now
Wow.
release.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm really thankful for you and all, you know, the Caius people out there because it's so I want to make sure that that lives forever, and I'm not good at that. Like everyone has a forte for certain things.
I got your back, dude.
No, but it's so cool because you know when it was out, not a lot of people knew about it,
Right,
and
including myself.
yeah, well, see then, and really it took on a life of its own after it sort of was extinguished, you know, and it's really only the the people that sort of keep it alive because I don't really know how to keep it alive. You know, I don't. I feel out of my depth. I've never been a super organized person.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah, it was like 1997 when I first found Kyuss. I was switching from buying cassettes to buying CDs,
right.
and the first CD I bought was Circus,
Well, yeah.
and I put it on in the car on the way home, and it it took me to Bombay Beach, and
Right.
that music just it fits perfectly with the surroundings, and I feel the same way about all of Kai's music and a lot of the music coming out of the desert that you guys just kind of it's almost like you play for the land.
Yeah.
You play for your surroundings.
Yeah. I mean, I think, things that are crafted in isolation are very of their location. They're
Sure.
very of their isolation. And, I mean, perhaps it's different, more difficult now because um, everyone's so connected and disconnected
Sure.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
And so I wonder, that's why you're saying Liam plays cello and things
Yeah.
like that. I'm glad because uh, it takes a lot of willingness to avoid easy things in order to pursue something that's a little more difficult.
Sure.
You know, you
But
have
the
to really wanna.
right.
You
And,
know,
but the reward for doing the difficult thing in the end is a lot better than taking the easy
it's
path.
that's the only place that reward exists, right?
Right.
It's like that there is no real reward except like an immediate dopamine hit that's um, from the surface level things
Sure.
like that. You know, yeah,
Sure. Yeah. Circus is my absolutely all time favorite album because of the journey it took me on, just listening to the music and looking at the album cover and the that weird painting on the back
yeah, by
cover
Jill,
by
yeah,
Jill.
Jill Jordan.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is this?
Mm,
But it's still, I think it really holds up, and
yeah, I mean, I really like that record. I think every time Sky Valley. I mean, it wasn't a lot of people that were into it at the time,
right,
but I think that's okay. That was okay, and yeah, I think I'm not. I don't recall it being. I don't recall Circus being particularly well received at the time
no, and
because I think it was it was so important to try something new. I've always had this
yeah,
real affinity for leaving the last thing behind completely, trying not completely, but um, yeah, this is a search, and so I remember it being not particularly well received at the time.
right, and it still doesn't really get the recognition that it should, honestly, in my opinion, because over the years of doing it, it's been 12 years of Kyuss World now. We've done a lot of surveys over the year of the favorite album, and Circus is on his last, even before Wretch.
Right.
But I think from the explanation that you gave to PJ Boston 5 years ago on Kyuss World Radio was that you kind of knew things were ending with Kyuss, so you wanted to do one more and put
Yeah, I was
everything into
feeling
it.
it. Yeah, I was feeling like I was feeling um, that the world that we'd created, we were filling up that world, and that the walls were tight.
Right.
And I really, I had such a religious fanaticism for Caius when we were in Caius, as did everyone that was in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I told you back then we'd rehearse 6 days a week for 8 hours a day. It was like constant
In the
playing,
lead up to Circus,
just all the time.
all the time.
I mean,
Wow.
just kind of all the time, and it was just part of your daily routine, and yeah, and I really wanted to, speaking for myself, I really wanted to mess with arrangements as much as possible, so that because you have so much verse chorus bridge
Sure.
chorus stuff, that sort of, you have so much of that, but what else is possible?
Yeah. That record
know?
didn't really fit into that mold.
Yeah,
And that's I just love it.
yeah. It's funny. Like you listen to things like like Paul McCartney's Band on the Run or something,
Right.
where it just keeps traveling.
Yep.
Or you listen to early Subhumans music, or Subhumans is this English punk band, and
Yep.
they had a record called From the Cradle to the Grave, and the second side is just one 16-minute song,
Wow.
and that obviously takes this from the cradle to the grave sort of thing very seriously,
Yeah.
and sort of those two goalposts of and uh, and listening to a lot of soundtrack music, you know,
Yeah.
um, just was really helpful to.
It's just got a special vibe to it, honestly.
Well, it's the first
and-
thing you came to too, so
Right.
that's that. Like for
Right.
you, that's going to be the thing, you know. What
But
I
when
mean?
I finally made it out to the desert the first time in 2017, we actually went down to Salvation Mountain and Bombay Beach and played the record in those surroundings, and it brought it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
It solidified it as my favorite album ever.
Yeah, it makes. I mean, those things make sense. I also, you also hear somebody like Kyuss started when we were 13 years old,
Right.
and so, you kind of. I also think of, to a certain degree, by the time you're 21 years old, being associated with what you did when you're 13 is difficult.
Yeah.
It can just be strange, because, as a parent, and as a parent for me, it's like a year in some kid's life from 14 years old to 15 years old to 16. It's like
Yeah.
it's a 14th of your life.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not, now it's a 52nd of my
Right.
life.
I've always said that. That's why I thought that your life goes faster as you get older, because each day is less of a percentage of your life.
Yeah.
For a toddler, a day is.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, well,
That's
on
huge.
day two, it's
Yeah.
half your life. Well, and I mean, especially like, you're in America, I think it's, well, in Western culture, it's like you're privileged to a summer
Yeah.
when the days are long and they seem to go on forever. And so, when you're spending that time with your friends playing music and where you have the chance to just ponder shit, it's it. Yeah, I mean, those are days that you don't forget. When it's different when you get a little older, and summers are different. You
Right.
still have to work, you still have to do things, you still have to.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, you don't get that same luxury.
Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about what we do at Kyuss World. We get together in the desert once a year, usually around the end of September, the last weekend in September, and we meet up at the Sky Valley sign, take a group photo.
That's
and,
very cool.
And surrounding that, we have desert excursions during the day, and we have music at night at Eric Cook's place right in Sky Valley.
Right.
And there's a sweet little RV park, maybe a mile from the sign, where you can rent these little bungalows for
Right.
$100 a night,
Right.
and it's pretty badass.
Yeah, I still really love Sky Valley in terms of like. I mean, it's funny how only a stop sign or stoplight will separate one town from the next.
Right.
They kind of just run together like watercolors in the water, right? It's
Right.
like, but there is definite personality difference. I think Sky Valley still has a hardness and a weirdness and a eccentricness
Mhm.
that's I think it's because they're in the wind zone,
Oh, definitely.
it blows hard.
It blows over the Nude Bowl and right down into the valley.
Well, that's why Edom Hill is there. That's why the dunes are there. It's literally where
It's a windbreak.
the sand stops for a sec and made this huge pile.
Yeah.
That's as far as the wind could blow the sand. And so there's it's just a little foreboding at times.
Yeah, last year we had Nick and Mondo Generator came out on
Yeah, he
Saturday
texted
night,
me.
and,
That's cool.
Whiskey and Knives with Alfredo. And then the next day on Sunday, we had some Kyuss World members who are watching right now, that met on Kyuss World and got married, and they started
Oh, wow.
a band together, and
Oh, wow.
with other Kyuss World members, and they're named after the singer. Her last name is Maku. So they played their debut show there last year.
Oh wow, that's cool. Hello, Maku. That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's what I love about all this stuff is that you know, even if it's like dark music, even if it's dark times, it's still meant to bring people together.
Yeah.
It's not something that's meant to like frag people apart, you know.
No, and I think Kyuss's music and definitely Queen's music, you know, people, it stirs up emotions in us, and other people have the same reaction to it, and I think that's part of what brings us all together, especially on Kyuss World. You know, it just Kyuss
Mm.
Kyuss affected us all in the same way that
Mm.
it's like we're kindred spirits already, and we don't even know each other. You know?
God, I really, I hope, I think, I hope that it's the thing is that so everybody means it. I know you guys mean it, and I know
Absolutely
we
mean
meant
it.
it. And because I sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, what is holding all this together? How is this still going? And that, I guess I always expect someone to come in and stop it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I know there isn't like a music police out there,
Right.
but if they really did knock on the door and just be like, it's over, I
Yeah.
would be like, oh, fuck, I just knew that was coming. You know, one day. But it hasn't happened, and I hope it's just because everyone, my fingers crossed, is like they know it's real. They know it's
No,
real. It's real. You know, I like, you
I'm
know,
I'm telling you, we know it's real.
yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, I like that's the one thing. Like, you know, I've had a lifetime of really wonderful experiences, and just also really just being fucked up and fucking up, and which is the way to that's what I understand. You know,
No.
and it's like I think it's like, but the one saving grace is always like when it's time to go back to work, it's like, let's go. You know what I mean? And it's like, because I want it so bad, you know, I want it to be, um, because I know that's the only way it can mean anything, you know, is I just want it so bad to be, you know, and I used to confuse that with honest, because when sometimes you're being honest, or if you qualify that as being honest, it's like, well, okay, there's something like there's something better in the word real. You know, it's like
Yeah.
because sometimes you're not ready to be honest with yourself, but you're doing it. You're giving it all you have. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, and we appreciate the music, and we appreciate what the music has done for each of us and for all of us as a group. Um, we've been making it an annual thing to run a GoFundMe on Kyuss World to help people from different parts of the world get to the desert that
Oh,
were
really?
already with us.
Really?
So the first year was myself. The second year was Daniel Hoffman from Australia. The third year in 2018, it was Jorge. Yeah, Jorge is watching too.
Hey, Jorge.
Jorge came from Peru,
Jorge, hey.
and that was the year that was the year the sign was almost stolen.
Was that one shot? You know, I'm used to people shooting the signs out there.
Well, if you go out there, the original sign is still the back of
All
the
right.
sign, and it's
Right.
got bullet holes in it.
Yeah, I've shot that sign myself.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah, I have shot it.
But
Yeah.
and then last year we brought out Zach from Canada, who had recently been involved in a fire that
Mm.
almost killed him.
Mm.
And by the time he had gone through most of his recovery, he was ready to go to the desert. So we brought him out there last year, and Liam and I hung out with him the whole weekend. It was great.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a uniter. That's very
Yeah.
cool.
And
Yeah.
that's what your music has done.
Uh,
You know, at least with the diehard Kyuss fans, and you know, we love all the Queen stuff and Cryptic
well, you know, I mean,
Vultures.
there's no obligation, you know.
No, no.
But you know, it's like you just, but that's really nice, you know. I think, well, I'm not sure what to say about that. I'm just really stoked, actually.
Well,
I feel proud. It's like, it's really cool to see people take it and give it life. You know, it's just cool. Because for me, that's my actually, it's my childhood.
right,
You know, I mean, it's actually my childhood.
right.
It's, you know, it starts on pretty much playing on Halloween when I'm just turned 13. You
I
know,
think I have
but
the hand-drawn poster for that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, really? I don't have that. At this guy Chris Baker's house, and it's still going now, and it's like, I don't know, sometimes I have trouble with nostalgia because it makes me feel sad a little.
no,
You know what I mean?
forget it.
Like I don't know. There's some people that really enjoy reminiscing and are good at it,
Yeah.
and I always feel like I'm gonna end up in a corner somewhere, like, you know what I mean?
No,
I think it honestly it scares me a little bit because I'm afraid to look back because I feel like or at times I get afraid to look back because then I'm not looking forward, and I feel like moving forward has been a way for me to avoid things
Sure,
in
sure.
my life, you know.
Yeah, and avoid being curled up in a ball in the corner.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I feel the same way looking back at
Pictures. Oh my
of him when
God,
he was a kid.
of mine.
Yeah.
I can, you know.
I don't know.
It's like, what are you doing? It's like, stay out of here. I don't know. You know, I think somehow I end up saying, you know, even photos, it's like, these are those moments and those moments are gone, you know. And, you know, yeah, it's just, it can be challenging.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
I'm inviting you out to at least come hang out with us next year.
When is it? Last what of September?
Last weekend in September, so we'll hang out on Friday night and Saturday night, and Sunday around midday we will meet up at the sign.
You know, I've actually, if I'm being 100% honest, I've
27.
actually thought about coming out there a couple
27.
times.
Yeah.
And
Scott said he has too, but we haven't had a Kyuss member there yet.
yeah, well, maybe, you know, maybe
We had
Scott would
Tony
go.
Tournay out there. last year.
You know, I don't know why, but I'm a little scared. I don't understand why I'm a little scared, but even though I think it would probably be ultimately something wonderful, and I appreciate it from afar.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I really do.
I get
You know,
it.
maybe I'll grab Scott by the beard.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Well, he shaved right after we left. Too.
No, yeah? He looks like a little baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I figured I'll bring I'll invite you and John and Fredo and Scott, and maybe
Oh, God.
maybe we can jam a little bit. I
Yeah.
think it sounds like a good plan.
You're making the chances less and less. No, I'm just kidding.
No, even if you just came out for the picture, that'd be great.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a very cool thing. I wonder, you know, everything is so. Come in.
Hey, oh, so sorry.
Just came in to say
You
I'm
could've
sorry.
come in.
Hey, I just wanted you to know I'm real
It's-
sorry.
It's okay. We forgive you.
I don't know. I always feel like these things are always such fragile little. They're such fragile, delicate
you
things.
called it an ice sculpture on
Yeah.
Kyuss World Radio.
Yeah, I mean, maybe my fears are unfounded. You know, I'm not a huge overthinker, but I think sometimes I just would feel like, oh, it's an ice sculpture, don't touch it, it'll
Right.
break, and then like I leave it at that and I move. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, I've had a lot of time to reflect in these last couple of years because I've been stuck in bed for months on end. You know.
Yeah.
And it definitely gets in your head, you know. I've thought about, man, all kinds of stuff.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a busy dude, and you know.
Not when you're laying in bed, you're not.
No. No. Well, awesome. Yeah, I wanted to show you something that I've been working on, a project that I've been working on for years. When I started Kyuss World, I got those plates,
Oh, well.
and I've gotten everyone to sign up but you so far.
All right, let's do it.
It's taken me about 10 years. I think.
Now what happens?
Yeah. Now it goes in a frame probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There it is.
All right, completed.
All right, completed it.
Wow, 10 years is done.
My life's work in the license plate. No, that's awesome. And you said at one time that one of your favorite things that Kyuss did was
That was my favorite of all.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was the last thing,
you
and
said
that,
Fatso Forgotso felt like
it felt
victory.
It felt, yeah, it did. It felt just absolutely like where we were supposed to go. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That song just had something special.
For sure.
You know, everyone. It felt like everyone was sounding good, and it was. I'm sure I mentioned too. It was like a very long mushroom experience.
Yeah, someone's credited. John Garcia's credited on Shine for mushroom margaritas or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know.
That sounds like fun.
I was standing with John. This is and it was the first time I'd ever mixed anything to
Oh.
this and just flying, right? And I'm standing out by the horse Cashmere, who was the only stallion in all of Joshua Tree at the time.
Yeah.
And so anyone that's a horse person knows that a stallion has a lot of attitude because it's just got such high levels of testosterone
Yeah.
running through it.
I got a 17-year-old son.
Yeah, you have your own stallion, right?
Right.
So John and I are essentially tripping balls,
Right.
standing by this horse corral, and we're just this is funny. We're talking about like, man, like this and this over here, and we're pointing out these things. I'm like, do you believe it, man? Can't believe it. And John's like, this horse, or maybe it was me that was like, this beautiful animal. And and Cashmere looks at us, and we're just John and I are looking at this horse, and he slowly turns around, lifts up his tail, and just farts so loud and long and slow.
I thought you were going to say he turned around and said, "Hey guys."
No, it was just like presented his asshole,
Right.
basically. And John and I started laughing so hard. I hope he remembers that, John. Hey, and yeah, it was life changing because it was this incredible animal laughing in our faces.
Right. Basically.
Yeah, it was like
"Oh, that's such a beautiful.
it was
animal."
like, get over yourself, asshole.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I get you to sign that one
Yeah,
too?
sure, of course.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
cheers.
awesome.
Cheers.
Yeah, and I gotta get one more too. Like I said, it's my favorite album of all time. I've already had it signed by John up here. Scott Reeder
John
signed it,
Marshall, yeah.
and Chris Goss.
Oh, fantastic.
He came out to the Sky Valley picture one year,
Oh, he did?
2022, right after we took the picture, unfortunately. But he came out. But
You know, the
I've
funny
met,
thing,
I
the
met
funny thing about
Cynthia.
this, I mean, I know these buildings are gone and the trailers are gone, but it was so stunning that experiencing that. It almost seemed like somewhere you'd want to live. You know, like just I mean, this is at the end by the old road that goes
Yeah.
out to the water,
Yeah.
and it had flooded, and the water just stayed that way. I mean, I know this section is now gone and demolished and just got consumed by the salt.
Actually, we were out. I want to say it was 2 years ago when we brought Martina from the Netherlands came out,
Hi, Martina.
and she was actually there for her birthday. We went and found this place.
Yeah,
And
Bombay
we,
Beach.
We talked to some of the locals, and they said that this shed that was torn down, they reused some of the wood and made a pirate ship out of it that still stands right there.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I remember going out there many years afterwards, and the water was gone. But when we took the photo, I thought, man, I could live just on this. I don't mean Bombay Beach. I just meant in this like glassy, reflective, because this is not a doctored shot. That's what
Right.
it looks like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's just upside down.
Yeah, it's upside down.
Right.
Yeah. But it just was like so stunning.
Yeah.
It just was otherworldly.
and it totally looks like
It's like
you know,
success and failure touching each
yeah,
other.
exactly. I love abandoned things,
Yeah, me too.
and just because
It just
it's like an
ghosts.
echo from the past,
Yeah, it's so cool. I like it
and
too.
and this look it just looks to me like the circus left town, and that's what's left.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely the vibe. That was definitely the vibe.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And playing that album,
I like how we went blue on blue. That's not
right?
maybe we should have put a little black around the edge of that.
Yeah.
On there.
No, I love it, and Spaceship Landing
Yeah,
always comes up as everyone's favorite Kyuss song,
really.
even though Sky Valley's huge, and you know Whitewater's always second place,
Yeah,
but Spaceship Landing,
yeah. You know
that's the exclamation point at the end of
that
the
that
at the
song
end of
meant the
Kyuss.
world to me because it was like, you know, it's like it's like being picked up and taken off. It was like the ultimate goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean you know, as I said before, I sort of knew that I was having feelings that, you know, that maybe I was at the spot where, you know, I needed to go,
Right.
and so I just felt like that would be great to have one more. Yeah, I don't know, not one more, but one last statement. You know.
Right.
Yeah, it was in so many parts, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it turned out great. And
Yeah.
like I
Thank you. I
said,
appreciate that.
it's my favorite. Um, yeah, it wouldn't be that no one would ever let me live it down if I didn't talk to you about putting the wing back on the dragon ice sculpture that you mentioned in 2020.
Here, I'm gonna turn this thing. There you go. It says your battery's low.
Yeah, got a little bit of time. Was that you changing the topic?
No. About you mean about playing again?
About playing kites again.
I know I thought about it many times.
You sounded pretty.
You know, I feel the same as I felt back then. I think about it. I've actually talked about it a few times and to people that help me do stuff. You know,
Right.
yeah,
It seems to me like a circus era lineup
yeah. I mean, I think that's what it would.
would be
I,
doable.
you know, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like the punctuation of Caius, it was such a perfect little unit, and it got a little and or that it had such a, it ended the way it should, and I was like I said, I think I said to you before, I was totally in support of
Yeah.
what was happening in Caius lives and
Right.
things like that. It was just there were some tricky things that were
Right.
pulled, you know.
And you
And
went into full detail with
Yeah.
Kyuss World Radio on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for people to know what
Yeah.
happened, and but it always, I, you know, it always left me with a strange feeling because it's like, you know, you want to set things right, you know, and plus I just don't think it's good. There's no reason to hold on to anything negative. I don't have negative feelings about anybody. I'm just, you know, um, none of that stuff matters, you know.
Right.
So yeah, it's possible.